It's up to you, New York, New York.
How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast here on Facebook and YouTube. I am your host, Richie, also co-host of Talk of New York. With me today, my good friend, Mr. Idris Salam, aka Bosco from the Bronx. Idris, how you doing today?
Happy Monday. Before we start the show, I want to send a condolence to the family of Valentino and Nelly. Young boy I was mentoring for a while, 15 years old. He committed suicide Friday night. He just couldn't take it anymore. The loneliness, depression, the abuse, and he took his life, man. And I want to take this time, and I know I shouldn't do it on the show, and so forgive me, please, Richie.
No, please. This is your forum, and I support this message completely. Don't you ever apologize for this.
I have to do this, y'all. I'm going to say this about feminism, because feminism, especially black feminism, put this young man in his grave, because he had a mother who didn't want any men raising him, alienated the father, alienated the man, me, who wanted to mentor him, because she felt she didn't want no man controlling him. She felt that she wanted that boy to fear her and her only. She felt that black man wasn't no good. So I'm on my soapbox right now to tell all you feminists, fuck you. Sorry, Richie. Y'all put this young man in his grave because you guys are so selfish, because you don't want men to raise your boys, because you want to be controlling. And you raise the boys that you raise boys to be the men that you hate. And this boy is being raised the same way, and I had a chance to save this young man. I had a chance to save a black man, had a chance to save a young black boy. And he's in his grave now at 15 years old because of feminism. Rest in peace, Valentino and Nelly. You will always be my little man, even though you weren't my son. Love you to death, bro. I'm going to miss you. That's it.
Yeah, Idris, you told me about that yesterday, and
man, it hurts, man.
yeah, I know, and for lack of a better word, let's just say that I'm gutted. I'm gutted about that. This is somebody you spoke to me about very frequently, as we always have those very real and hard life conversations, and to say I'm sorry doesn't do it justice. To say I'm sick over it doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It hurts because, like I said, dude, all because these women today, and I know it's a sports forum, these women today want to have so much power, and you want to have so much power over a boy. You need a man to raise a boy, but you want this power because you feel men ain't no good, because you feel it's a patriarchy. You hate men. You don't think black men could be parents. And now this boy is dead, man. Let's start the show, man. Because I'm just gonna rant for like a whole hour, and I don't need to.
It's all right, Idris. You're human. It's real.
Shit hurts,
I
man.
yeah, I know. I know it does. I know it does. It's something that I can't even begin to wrap my head around.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Um, on today's show, we're going to be hitting on the NBA playoffs. New York Knickerbockers start their quest for the ever elusive third championship tomorrow night. Tonight in the Western Conference, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the San Antonio Spurs. Oklahoma City is the defending world champions. We also are going to hit on part one, which just concluded, of the 2026 Subway Series. Uh, I was very, very upset about the way that played out, but I'm going to tip my cap to the Mets. They got it done. What else? Just a crazy situation with Cleveland advancing, the way that they made the one-seeded home court advantage Detroit Pistons look ever so weak. We're going to be hitting on that. We're going to hit on Ronda Rousey getting back into the octagon and, dare I say, a Mamba mentality, the way she went in there and rocked it after hearing a voicemail that was held for so many years from the late, great Kobe Bryant directed towards her. Also want to hit on an interesting article that you sent me, Idris, with regard to Eli Manning and what came to be of his steps toward making sure that he would not be a San Diego Charger. As a very good read that you sent me. So definitely want to speak on that as well. But we're going to start it up with the dismantling of the Pistons last night, really exposing this team. Quite shocking, if you ask me, because while I knew that either result wouldn't shock me given the fatigue factor and the exhaustion factor, I think what really got me yesterday, Idris, is just it seemed like the Pistons just were not even in the same universe in terms of intensity as the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I was pretty mind blown to see how Cade Cunningham couldn't get going. And when Cade's off, they're not exactly offensively gifted to the level where they're going to rock anybody out of the building, because that was a fear of mine with these Pistons. And it was even exposed in the Orlando series about how this team goes into those offensive droughts. And, this is an offensive driven league. Make no mistake about it in the NBA. And hats off to Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell getting the proverbial monkey off his back, finally getting to the conference finals and really showing out. And in a game where James Harden didn't really show up offensively because he just wasn't shooting the ball well, quite impressive. And Cleveland's bigs got it done yesterday, too. They got it done. If Cleveland would have shot the ball better from the free throw line, this might have been a 40-something point defeat. Look at my dog. My dog is a character. I'm going to show you my dog. She's being all kinds of silly right now.
All right, Daisy, what you got going on right now?
We got her on this coconut oil, and she really, really digs the coconut oil. It's good for her insides.
I see it. She's going in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, man.
She took the bowl, like, she didn't even let Jen put the bowl in the wooden frame. She just said, no, right now.
Yeah. Oh, Daisy. I love you, Daisy. Yeah, I'm with you, man. And Cade Cunningham, he's led the playoffs in turnovers.
Yes, he has.
So and James Harden, once again, he didn't show up. Good thing the big Jared Allen, who I'm actually a Jared Allen fan, and I've been a fan of him ever since he came into the league. It was the afro and the headband that made me a fan of him.
That afro screams ABA 1970s.
Exactly.
And he wears it well. He wears it well. Very fashionable. He wears it well.
Right. He reminds me of Dr. J and Artist Gilmore and all those guys in the 70s.
Artist Gilmore had those mean sideburns, too.
Yeah, those sideburns, yeah. So That's what made me become a fan of Jared Allen. Just his look. He's like an old school player, and he plays an old school game because he plays a real physical game. So yeah, but I will say it again. James Harden will be the reason Cleveland doesn't make it to the finals, other than the Knicks, of course, because once again he didn't
Yeah.
show up. If the big men didn't show up, Cleveland loses their game.
I want to apologize
Mhm.
for my verbiage yesterday after the New York Yankees were defeated by the New York Mets. It's not so much that we're like a censored podcast and that we don't occasionally drop an F bomb, but I will apologize because yesterday, first and foremost, the fan came out before any kind of podcast host, and I was visibly upset. Obviously, we shared at the top of the hour something very emotionally draining that, although it affected your life
Mhm.
on the Reggie, so to speak, the regular. You and I talk about everything, Idris. So that had an effect on me yesterday as well. And I'm just gonna say that I was in good company. Shouts out Angel, shouts out Brett. Had a nice guys' day, a much needed guys' day. Angel was like my chauffeur yesterday, man. Man, I'm not used to not driving. My man drove me everywhere. I felt like Emilio Estevez in the beginning of the Mighty Ducks when he was
My
getting driven
ducks,
around in
yeah.
the limo.
You know what? When,
But
when you was in the car, when I kept hearing you say turn here and turn, I was like, who's driving? Hey, yo, I'm gonna
yeah,
go out and come back in because I'm echoing.
all right, bet.
Either.
Yeah, Idris will be right back. Shouts out Angel. Thanks for being a friend yesterday, and thanks for just helping me, man. I needed some help on my truck. Much appreciated. Shouts out Brett for just having a good guys' day, man. Watch the Yankees game. Not the conclusion that we wanted. I'm going to keep it on basketball until Idris comes back because I want to make sure that we're both conversing about the Yankees. What I saw yesterday in Cleveland beating Detroit, uh, I was so taken back that the Detroit Pistons lost two games, 5-7, in a series that they led 2-0. Going into the playoffs, I did predict that Cleveland was going to win that series in six hard-fought games. There he is. And ultimately, it won seven. I think what stands out to me the most, as I already said before I started showing people my dog, Donovan Mitchell just balled out, man, on a level that I have not seen singularly from him in these playoffs. I mean, I've seen moments of brilliance going back to his Utah run, even in his Cleveland run. But make no mistake about it, this is a very dangerous opponent for the New York Knicks because I have been asked many times on my show or just out and about with people that know how much I love the Knicks. Who do you want to play, Richie? Who do you want your team to play? And I said the Detroit Pistons, in my opinion, presented less trouble for the Knicks. Now, anybody that gets to this point of the season, there's a reason. And I feel that the three best teams in the Eastern Conference were the three teams left standing. The Detroit Pistons had an outstanding season, make no mistake about it. But I believe that after being exposed as a one seed, Detroit knows what they have to add to that roster to avoid the similar result next year. You know, Cleveland got knocked out last year as a one seed. So make no mistake, this is a team that has some unfinished business, and they're going to bring it to the New York Knicks. This is not going to be an easy series, but exhaustion's a real thing. Playing more games is a real thing. And I do think that, although friend of the show, Brett Bandick, mentioned recently that he's a little concerned that the Knicks have had too much time off and they were so hot that it's impossible to keep that up, I have mixed feelings on it. We're getting back OG Anunoby, a guy that is so vital to the Knicks' success. And I think this series, we know what the scoring options bring. We know that Mitchell is a dog when he's on. We know what Jalen Brunson brings. But I think what's going to decide this series, who's going to win the battle of the bigs, and will James Harden be able to live on the free throw line as he did in his prime years in the league? Now, Cleveland's got some shooters. You know, Strus could light it up on any given day. they have their fair share of guys on that bench that, if given the opportunity, could light it up. So it really comes down, in my opinion, to can James Harden get to the free throw line when he needs to? And can James Harden avoid bad turnovers? And can James Harden make a better effort on defense? Because he doesn't exactly scare me defensively. And, the Knicks have an array of guards on this team that can step up. And even through the first two rounds, I actually have grown a bit of a trust for Huck Porty if he has to play meaningful minutes, say if Mitch and Cat get in early foul trouble, because right now Mike Brown has basically printed minutes for all these players, things in earlier rounds that I think are going to be vital in a big round like this. If you get hit with some adversity, if guys are in foul trouble, you need to lean on that bench, whether it be Jose Alvarado, Deuce McBride, Huck Porty. They have a litany of guys that can play meaningful minutes. And one of the biggest things when you're a coach of basketball, you want to feel that you don't lose too much when your second unit is out there versus the starters. And right now, as far as I'm concerned, the New York Knicks have been doing that. And that's why the New York Knicks are on a 7-game playoff winning streak.
Yeah, I agree. I think the big thing is going to be between the bigs, but what I believe what we're going to do is like we did against CJ McCollum. Like the first 3 games, he got off on us. But when we put Josh Hart on him, it was over. He couldn't get off again. And we also, I don't know if anyone noticed, and you know me, bro. I'm the type of guy, I'm about the X's and O's like I am in football. I don't watch the game as a fan. I watch it as a scout. And what I'm seeing with the Knicks are, other than Jalen Brunson running the traditional point, he's coming up the court, but he's dishing to Cat at the top of the key. And Cat is basically distributing the ball like Luka did. And it's giving Jalen Brunson more time to run around, find his shot, OG, everybody else do the thing, because they've been playing Cat and Big Mitch. They got Mitch in the hole, they got Cat at the top. And he's throwing it. It might be different now because Jared Allen's going to be there, and the other guy, I can't pronounce his name. I just call him Double O. Because he got an African name. I ain't trying to make a butcher. It'll be a little different there. But I think the matchup is going to be between Brunson, Hart, Mitchell, and Harden. Harden doesn't play defense. So with Hart being on him and with OG on the wing, Knicks and 6, man.
I want to get back to a couple of comments that were coming in earlier in the show.
Yeah. Shout out to your mama, too.
My man, condolences. I appreciate you, Nunez.
Yeah,
My
no
mother,
doubt.
Eunice Acevedo. Knicks in 6. We've got Daniel Nunez with a comment on his prediction for the series. Cavs in 6. Nunez will not pick the Knicks if it was like, they weren't playing anybody. But that's okay. He's entitled to his opinion.
Right.
He also picked Philly to beat us, but I expected more from Philly too, so I'm not clowning on Nunez there.
I didn't.
Yeah. But yeah, this is going to be a great series. I'm extending a game on that just because Cleveland has shown me some serious heart. I think this is going 7 games. I got the Knicks winning games 1, 2, 4, and 7. It's going to be similar to a series of yesteryear, flipping sports here, when the New York Rangers had a 3-1 lead against the Vancouver Canucks. And then the Canucks forced a game 7, and everybody was like ready to pull their hair out and like, oh my God, it's not happening again. Then the Rangers won a very close game 7. The Knicks have had playoff battles in the 90s that were comparable to the way I see this playing out too. The Knicks have had an issue with this division, primarily Indiana getting over the hump in previous playoff battles. I think this is the year that the Knicks of the Atlantic X out a formidable foe from the Central. And this is going to be, and I know a lot of people don't really put much onus anymore in today's NBA on divisions because of the play-ins and because of the expanded playoff format. But I do believe that this is going to be a hell of a series. I hope you're right. I would love to see the Knicks get out of there in 6 or better, maybe even 5. But these Cavaliers have shown a lot of heart, and these Cavaliers have earned my respect. I think this is going to be a damn good series.
I think it'll be a good series. Um, but I'll be honest with you, dude. I think it's going to end up like Philly, but I think it'll go 6. I
Yeah, I
just
hope
think
you're right. I
James,
don't mind being wrong if it benefits my team.
look,
So
James Harden, once again, he had a poor shooting night. He didn't show up.
yes,
And
he
he
did.
doesn't show up. I said, there's no question. The guy can ball in the playoffs. But when crunch time comes, he disappears. And he's done it again. And I think with the Knicks, he'll do it again. He'll do it again. That's James Harden.
Yeah, Brett and I were having fun because I said it on a short prior to the game. I expected a much closer game. I expected a low-scoring game that was going to go to OT, and I expected Cleveland to barely sneak it out. And obviously, Cleveland jumped them early, often, and it also didn't help that good shooters on Detroit just couldn't get anything to go. Duncan Robinson, former Miami Heat guy, he's a guy that hurt the Knicks in a previous series. He couldn't get it going. And this has been a problem for Detroit at different steps and that, like I said, I think Detroit moving forward, they're trending up regardless. It's a season to be proud of, but they know what they have to do to get better. Now, Cleveland, Harden's aging. They brought him in to hopefully be the missing ingredient to win. They got their fair share of shooters. I also like the effort that Max Strus gives on defense. This is going to be a damn good series. I'm going to hold it as Knicks in 7. Knicks in 7. I hope you're right. Knicks in 6. We're going to keep it in the NBA. We're going to talk about tonight's Titanic matchup. This is going to be quite the matchup. We've got the San Antonio Spurs traveling to Oklahoma City to take on the defending world champion Thunder. Arguably the 2 best players in the Western Conference. Of course, Nikola Jokic has to be in that conversation as well. Wemby has really arrived, Idris. We've seen it. True moments of brilliance. And the thing I like about Wemby is when he has a dud, like he did in game 1 of the Minnesota series, he steps up. When he does something poorly, like let his emotions get the best of him and get ejected, he steps up and has a monster game. Yeah. It shows that he is very adaptable and that he could deal with immediate adversity, even if it's caused by his own hand, so to speak. I think De'Aaron Fox has been a nice pickup for this Spurs team, formerly of Sacramento, is where he came from. This is a team that in order for OKC to win, you got to be able to push these guys around a little bit, something that the Knicks have done well, which is why I want the Spurs to win this series. As tonight goes, based on experience and such, I'm going to take the Oklahoma City Thunder to win game 1. However, I am taking the Spurs to win this series in 7 games. Tonight's going to be a lot of offense. It's going to be a lot of fun. Give me the San Antonio Spurs keeping it close. I don't know what the spread on this is, but I got the Thunder beating them. I'm going to go 119 to 111. I think the offense is going to flow, but I think in the final 3 or so minutes is where the Thunder are going to show that championship pedigree and maybe go on a nice 6 to 8-0 run and distance themselves in the final 3 or 4 minutes. But I think it's going to be close. And I think the Spurs are going to learn from this, and game 2 might actually have a different result. Now, remember, this Thunder team has not lost a playoff game yet, and they are pushing for some serious perfection, something that the 2000 Lakers almost achieved were it not for Allen Iverson's iconic Game 1 in the NBA Finals.
I'm with you 100%. But I don't think. I'm with you. I'm going Spurs. I'm gonna go 6. I'm not 6. I mean, I'm gonna go 7. But I got a feeling the Spurs might do it in 6, man. I see flaws in San Antonio. And OKC's armor. Yeah, I know who they played, but the Lakers showed a lot, man. Even
The
in defeat,
Lakers were able to keep it close. They just didn't have the bodies and the
they didn't
manpower to
have the
keep it up
bodies. Right,
for 48 minutes. If Luka Doncic
right.
was a healthy player,
We're talking
I
different.
think I still think the Thunder win, but I think it would have been a much better series. I think
Exactly.
LeBron, guy who I don't always praise, but I try to be fair. I think he did a great job given what he had to work with. But
I agree.
and as far as the Suns series goes, and we back it up to round one, I think the Thunder were just kind of bored.
Yeah.
That Suns team reminds me of a similarity from when they used to have Mike D'Antoni, where it's like they just try to run you out of the gym, but there's not a real commitment to hitting the glass. There's not a real commitment to playing consistent defense, and you cannot do that against OKC because nobody's going to run anybody out of the building better than that team. And they also
I
have the
agree.
bigs to slow it down when they need to.
Yeah.
But
I
this is going to be
agree.
an epic series. I got Spurs in 7, but I do have OKC holding court tonight. 119-111 in favor of OKC. I might change my prediction to a little more of a wider margin. We'll
I'm
see.
going
But
with
as of right
I'm going
now,
Spurs tonight, man.
really, all right.
Same
I
score.
like the disagreement. It makes it more fun.
Hell yeah.
All right, turning our attention to Major League Baseball. Tampa Bay Rays have widened their lead in the American League East to a 3-game lead over our beloved New York Yankees. The Yankees capped off a terrible road trip with a terrible conclusion as David Bednar, he threw the first 38 innings of the regular season, only gave up 2 home runs. He's given up multiple home runs in his last 4 appearances. And it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating because this was a game that it seemed like the Yankees had in hand. And even when the Mets were getting some guys on base and they had the tying run at the plate, I think Bednar serving up that curveball on pitch 1 was just so terrible of a decision because you could only go to the well so often. And I think he needed to throw some high heat there. And, leaving that hanging curveball, which didn't miss enough of the plate, it got punished. And the Mets took advantage. I'm going to tip my hat to the New York Mets, although so many of their fans really know how to get under my skin. But no excuses here. I don't run away from when my team loses. I hope the Yankees learn from this. David Bednar is a good closer. He's going through it right now. I'm not going to dog him out because he's going through a slump, because it's similar to like a kicker in football. It's one of the most fickle positions in professional sports. When things are going your way, you get all the praise, but a couple of bad pitches and a couple of bad outings, and it's a hard life to be a closer in Major League Baseball. I still have faith in David Bednar. I think Matt Blake and him are going to go over it. They're going to come up with better strategies. They're going to be all right. I'm more concerned about the bridge to get to David Bednar. But yesterday was not an example. Yesterday, Aaron Boone, you hand the ball to your closer. You got a 3-run lead on the road. You're trying to win an in-state series, and it didn't go your way. Mets are playing better baseball. I'm going to give them that. A.J. Ewing getting called up has definitely benefited the Mets. And they're starting to turn the corner a little. I don't know what that means in that National League East. You have a revitalized Phillies team that ever since Don Mattingly took over keeps winning series. They are locked in right now. Kyle Schwarber looking like a new age version of Babe Ruth, the way he's been slugging home runs. And I'm happy for Donnie. It literally would take my all-time favorite New York Yankee for me to tolerate a Philadelphia sports team. But I'm not a Met fan, so I don't really hate the Phillies the same way that a Met fan would. Just like I don't hate the Patriots the same way that a Jet fan would, because I'm a Giant fan. It's not the same thing. But much respect to my all-time favorite Don Mattingly. Keep up the good work. Change the narrative about these naysayers. They say that you're just like you're okay, but you're not good enough to get it done. I always want the best for Don Mattingly. He has been pure class since day one, always given back to the game that he loves so much, and just a phenomenal human being in addition to a phenomenal baseball personality, player turned coach. You ask anybody around Major League Baseball, you'd be hard pressed to find anyone who has a negative word to say about that man.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that one. And you know how I feel about. I know Donnie is your man, and he's my man because he's a Yankee, former Yankee, and he's the one Yankee I would have loved to come back to coach the Yankees. I mean, Boone is here. Girardi did it because Girardi was a captain at one time. But I want to see Mattingly with the Yankees.
Yeah, Girardi had some boss ass moments, with the perfect game with Cone. Girardi was very
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
It was a very good defensive catcher. He was fiery. He's an
yeah.
old school guy, similar to a Mattingly. Mattingly's old school. I mean, he's a little more tempered down than maybe he would have been, like, say, earlier in his career. I think that's also comes with age.
Yeah.
But I like this for the Phillies right now. I think Don Mattingly is going to keep up the good work. I have a feeling the Phillies going to carve their way into. They might not catch Atlanta. Atlanta's been the best team in baseball for the better part of a month now. But I do believe that if Atlanta runs into some kind of friction, as every team does sooner or later, we'll see if the Phillies can keep up. The Phillies definitely have the talent. And this reminds me similarly to when they replaced Joe Girardi and ended up winning the pennant. We'll see. They replaced Rob Thompson. Can Don Mattingly get them there? I mean, the Dodgers, I said it recently, they don't scare me the same way that they did in 24 or even last year, as they just refuse to lose. This Dodgers team, I know that they're nursing injuries. Everybody is to a level, but they don't strike the fear of God in me as they did a couple of years ago. We'll see, though. They're a great team. Dave Roberts has changed the narrative of who he is as a manager. And a lot to be excited about. National League Central, hyper competitive. We knew that the Brewers and Cubs are going to be good, but you got everybody that's over 500 over there. And I think teams in the American League that have been underachieving, the ones that are good, are going to start shaking it off. Yankees host the Blue Jays tonight. Yeah, the Blue Jays have been going through it in their own right with injuries, but this is a series that you do not take lightly.
Nope.
This is a team that got the best of us last year in the regular season as well as in the postseason. And this is the first time that we see them since being eliminated by them and seeing them celebrate on our field. It's time for the Yankees to lock in. Shouts out to the captain, Aaron Judge, always keeping it in a good, healthy perspective, saying he likes the effort. He feels that his guys are battling. Unfortunately, they just haven't been getting the breaks, so to speak, because sometimes it's a bad pitch. Sometimes it's when you could bury them with the bases loaded and you only get one run out of it. And instead of extending the lead to 5 or better, it's only a 3-run lead. So, there's a lot of reasons why the Yankees had a crummy road trip, whether it be missed opportunities in Milwaukee, missed opportunities in Queens. But I'm here for it, man. It's a long, long season. I'm here for it. And I give credit where it's due. The New York Mets earned it. I can't stand them sometimes. Not so much the team, more their fans. But, hey, I'm not that type of guy that I hide behind my losses because you're going to hear it when we win.
Yeah. But you know what? This is the Yankees, man. We look like we can beat everybody, including the 27 Yankees, and then we'll look like the Boston Red Sox for like a good week or so. Then we'll come back and we'll be the 27 Yankees, and we'll come back looking like the Red Sox. Notice my reference to the Red Sox.
Absolutely, and Anthony Volpe. I always look for positives during rough times. Anthony Volpe got a big hit yesterday. I look for signs of life. Like recently, Jazz Chisholm had the big game in Queens. I'm looking for certain guys to start playing up to their capabilities and just playing better. I'm very excited about number 45 returning to the Yankees, Garrett Cole, future Hall of Famer. I think he's going to inject a whole lot of enthusiasm and energy into this Yankees team. I think Cole would be a phenomenal pitching coach down in his next career if he chooses to stay in baseball. The guy's just smart, world of knowledge, great teammate. And even when he's injured or even when he's not playing actively or just, doesn't have a start, he's always so invested in the game, and he is a godsend to anybody young looking to be that person. And Cam Schlittler, when you think about the many, many great legends that have donned the pinstripes and pitched for this team, what he has done from a historic base standpoint with the strikeouts, with the innings pitched, and with the ERA, Cam Schlittler is off to a phenomenal start in his career. And, Rodon's battling. It's going to take a little time for him to work off all that rust. And tonight we got Weathers pitching, a guy that I actually think once Fried is healthy and once the big three are healthy and you can fortify that 5-man rotation, I think Weathers is the most logical guy to go into that pen and get those hard, high leverage innings. Because I never stick a fork in anybody, but Camilo Duvall really needs to figure out his mechanics.
Oh my goodness!
And I like Tim Hill, but I don't love him.
You
I
know
want
what?
to see Weathers get some high leverage situations, and I likened him to a Ramiro Mendoza role, a guy who could eat multiple innings because he's a starter.
Right. Cam is my man. Cam Schlittler and plus Goldie. But I like what we got moving forward. Because once we get Cole back, we got Cam Schlittler, who is basically our ace right now. But you bring back Cole, our ace. Oh my god, I can't wait. This came in over the wire. I hate to say the wire because I'm thinking about the movie, the show The Wire. Cleveland Cavaliers are only. Wait, let me get it right. Cleveland Cavaliers announced that ticket access will be mainly limited to fans with billing addresses in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. They are trying. They're doing it with Philly did.
That's okay. That's okay.
I love it. They don't realize. But see what they don't realize how many New Yorkers are in Pennsylvania.
Bro, we're everywhere. We're everywhere. Trust me, when it comes to that fan base, they will find a way in.
Yeah.
But shouts out to Cleveland fans as well. They did a hell of a job of representing on the road, so I respect them.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good series, bro. I'm really stoked about this series. Changing gears for a moment, I want to speak on this man. You sent me a really cool article, and I read it. And some of it I knew, some of it was more detailed than in previous things I've read about Eli Manning not being a San Diego Charger. They're now Los Angeles Chargers.
Right.
He said he had a world of respect for Marty Schottenheimer.
Yep.
Schottenheimer, some people forget, actually does have some Giant roots as he was an assistant back in the day for the Giants. But he said between Spanos, AJ Smith, and Marty, he said there was so much dysfunction from the outside looking in and a lot of anger between the three men that were heading that organization that he felt like it was going to be a rather dysfunctional situation. So the New York Giants, by drafting Phillip Rivers, kind of countered and said, this is a guy that the Chargers are also high on. Because it's weird. The Giants were actually high on Big Ben if it wasn't going to be Eli. But because of the way that the boards shaped out, ultimately, it worked out for the benefit of both organizations as Phillip Rivers carved out a Hall of Fame career. And the reason why Rivers is going to have to wait is because he recently came back to the NFL. Now, as far as Eli goes, he's still patiently waiting for that Hall of Fame call. I'm not quite sure how long it's going to take because the Hall of Fame induction process in Canton is a complicated one because it's not just about players. You have different levels of guys that get nominated, whether it's, the old school guys, whether it's contributors, whether it's coaches, things of that nature. It's a very complicated process. And by Eli not getting in on shot one, nor shot two was very hard when you look at the class. He will eventually get in. I do believe that. But I'm kind of subscribed to the notion that it actually could take the better part of a decade at this point. We'll see how it plays out. I personally think that sometimes too many people are wrapped up in too many narratives that don't make a lot of sense. I mean, we see it no easier than when a guy like Bill Belichick didn't get into the Hall. I don't give a damn if he's a good guy or not. I don't give a damn about some of his shenanigans, so to speak. Anybody that thinks that Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, then who is?
How can you not give this guy? Yeah, that's just ignorance, bro, of people.
This is the
Bill
same
Belichick. Yeah,
institution that held out T.O., who
right,
statistically is the third greatest wide receiver of all time. I'm not saying he
right.
is the third greatest, but at least on the back of his trading card, it says he is.
Yeah, yeah. You got you. I mean, no matter how you feel about Bill Belichick, the man's first ballot. In fact, he's the first name on the list.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I mean? He's the first name on the list.
Yes,
It's
indeed.
insane, man. As for Eli, I also read that the Chargers tried to trade him to Cleveland, and he
Yeah,
told them no. Yeah,
that's rather interesting too. And
yeah,
what I also found out that was kind of interesting is that Eli said that his parents, particularly Archie, the head of the family, was not very happy with Eli putting off that kind of persona in the John Elway fashion of like, I'm not going to go here, etc. But ultimately it worked out for the better. But I do think that once the Manning family saw what the Chargers were about, and they also had a detailed, interesting look at that organization from years earlier when Peyton was drafted. So I do think that the Manning family had a strong opinion about the Chargers. And I want to say this, the Chargers got very close, very, very close a couple of
yeah.
times. I think '06 was the year that wasn't when I think it was was it McFree? McNee? I can't remember this dude's last name. The linebacker that picked off Brady, linebackers left safety, picked off Brady. And instead of just taking a knee and ending the game, he decided to be a hero. He gave up the ball after the interception. Lo and behold, Nate Kading, who was a player in that Eli deal, hell of a kicker, but unfortunately he missed the game-winning field goal. And the Chargers get eliminated, and that was their year. 14-2, that was the year they were supposed to win a Super Bowl. But those are the breaks. And then you look at Eli, what his giant teams achieved, of course, the phenomenal defensive performance in Super Bowl 42. Eli making timely throws, David Tyree touchdown, David Tyree helmet catch, Plaxico Burress fade route. And then, of course, you fast forward to Super Bowl 46. Eli throws for a hair under 5K, puts Victor Cruz on the map, an unknown who was undrafted that contributed in 2010, blew out his knee, came back, lit the world on fire. Hakeem Nicks, can't win without him. And a defense that was not rated high, that got a little healthier and a lot more motivated at the right time, starting with number 91, Justin Tuck. It was a phenomenal run, but a 9-7 Giants team that had a bottom 5 rushing attack and a bottom 5 defense defeated Tom Brady and Bill Belichick yet again. So I don't feel that you could write an NFL script, an NFL movie, NFL book, NFL anything without the contributions of this dude, and I hope the voters see it that way. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's better than Drew Brees or a prime Aaron Rodgers or a prime Brett Favre. But Eli Manning most definitely played his part. And I also think that, unfortunately for Eli, he gets caught and kind of lost in the sauce because he played in an era where so many quarterbacks were putting up phenomenal numbers, where Eli's kind of don't stand out. And I know that an age-old argument is like, oh, he got better numbers than Montana, and he got better numbers than Bradshaw, and Namath, and da-da-da. But understand that that's also not a fair comparison, because those men played in an era where you could damn near behead wide receivers. It was a different time in the NFL. So, while I'm pro Eli and I want my man to get in the hall, I'm also pro Sims, and he ain't in the hall. So,
Atrocity.
It's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. I don't think it's fair that Phil Sims isn't in the Hall of Fame. But, different people view different players different ways. But if you're a New York Giants fan and you love this organization, you know exactly what number 10 brought. And there ain't no gold jacket that's going to change my opinion, whether he wears it one day or whether he doesn't. Eli Manning was elite when it mattered most.
You know why I put Eli up there? A lot of Super Bowl quarterbacks had Super Bowl wide receivers, Super Bowl running backs. I mean, Hall of Fame running backs, Hall of Fame wide receivers, Hall of Fame offensive line.
Yes, indeed.
After Eli won the 2007 Super Bowl, that 2011 team was basically a whole different team.
No, absolutely.
On
And no
offense.
quarterback has ever won a Super Bowl with a lower ranked defense than Eli
Right.
Manning.
And people
want to
say,
remember
yeah,
the people want to remember the season finale or even the week before on Christmas Eve against the Jets
hmm
and say that that's what the defense did all year. There's a reason the New York Giants in that particular season lost 7 games, and a large part of it
right,
was the defense underachieving. Does anybody remember that Saints game?
bro. They forget in those Super Bowl years, and I will keep telling people the defense ranked 27th, 17th.
And
The
17th.
defense actually gave up more points than the offense scored. The defense just picked it up in the playoffs. But
And
you
there
got to
were reasons,
also,
Justin Tuck was playing with a lot of pain in 11.
yes.
There were a litany of reasons why things weren't going. It's also the competition.
And you know
I'll be
something?
honest, I'm humble. If the New
Yeah.
Orleans Saints beat the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs that year, I don't think the Giants win the Super Bowl that year. Because
Probably not.
We saw
But
what the
you-
Saints did to us, and that's just me being honest. And
Right. And you know what? And people discredit what Eli did. People don't realize. Go back and look at Eli's stats in those 2 Super Bowl runs. They are 2 of the greatest stats ever.
Absolutely. And I'll also go as far as saying that for 2 consecutive years, the Super Bowl probably should have been the Baltimore Ravens and the 49ers. They did play the year after Super Bowl 46. And the year of Super Bowl 46, the Ravens and the 49ers more than likely were better than the Patriots and Giants. I even go as far as saying that if we would have had a rematch with the Ravens, dating back to 2000 when they blew our doors off, maybe things are different. But, you can't do revisionist history. At the end of the day, the New York Giants got it done, and it doesn't happen without this man, because they can talk all they want about the defense did this and this one did that and all this other stuff. But the defense did not engineer 3 go-ahead drives in 2 different Super Bowls in the fourth quarter, which is money time. Number 10 did that.
You know how to end the debate on that? This is what you do. You're like, other than Eli Manning, David Tyree, I'm like, name 5 players, and Victor Cruz. Name 5 players from the 2007 offense and the 2011 offense. I bet you most people can't name 5 players.
Well, a lot of people
outside
would
of-
be hard pressed because while Steve
Right.
Smith had an excellent 07, a
Right.
lot of people would probably forget about him. They had
But
a
you know
committee
what?
running back room where Reuben Drones started the season, broke his leg. Nobody knew about Ahmad Bradshaw yet out of Marshall. He stepped up, and Brandon Jacobs was still getting his feet wet as well, where he was a lot more of a profound force in later years. 2011, while Jacobs, Bradshaw, and the whole crew did not have a great year statistically,
Right.
they had some big-time games when it mattered. Look no further than round 1 against Atlanta. And then, of course, the Hakeem Nicks game where he did the dirty bird in the end zone. Same game.
If you ask people, say, okay, we had Steve Smith, people will automatically think of Carolina, Baltimore Steve Smith.
He's a forgotten NFL player because he had a short run. When the Eagles were trying to put together the dream team that same year, 2011, Smith was one of the dudes. They got Nnamdi Asomugha, who at the time was one of the best cover corners in the league.
Yep.
He did not fit into Philadelphia schematically. Of course, Mike Vick.
Yep.
A lot
Vince
of ups and
Young.
downs. They had Vince Young as well, former number 1 pick. It's a very interesting how things go. But sometimes I think that, people, when I see in the comments about how they dog this man out and say that he was the product of being a game manager and it was all about the defense, I don't think they truly understand that sometimes you're also statistically a victim of the system of offense you play in. Do you think that if Eli Manning played in New Orleans and had that run and gun action that Drew Brees had, that his numbers wouldn't be more awesome? Or if he played indoors, or if he played in a warm weather place that has minimal weather issues like a San Diego that is, and these are things that I think people just don't take into account, because if you look at Drew Brees on grass, or if you look
Right.
at Drew Brees in inclement weather,
Right.
he's not
Numbers
doing
are-
what a prime Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers did.
Dude, you know what's
People,
something also?
do I have to remind people what Eli did in Frozen Lambeau?
You know something? I'm not going to take a shit on Drew Brees, but people need to realize his numbers are not much better than when it comes to interceptions. He got a lot of them. And also, I challenge anyone, name two players on the offense Eli played with during the Super Bowl runs who are going to the Hall of Fame.
The only one that would probably be considered
hmm
is a guy that just missed the Super Bowl runs, and that would be number 21, Tiki Barber.
Hey, but he was on the Super Bowl team.
Exactly. The blessing that Eli did have, though, is that he had a lot of guys who had short careers in the league. But while I think that, let's say like a guy like a Hakeem Nicks, let's say if his career was longer, he may have been good enough to be a Hall of Famer.
I agree.
An Odell Beckham post Super Bowls. We know that when he started, Victor Cruz, but none of these guys stayed in the league long. So the blessing that Eli did have, because I don't want to diminish those players, is that he had them when they were hitting their peak.
Right, exactly.
But he was also a big part of why they were thriving.
Right.
And that's something that I think gets lost as well. If Victor Cruz gets drafted by the New York Jets or somebody else, is he a household name? A guy that people remember? I'm not sure about that.
Eli gave Mario Manningham, Victor Cruz, David Tyree, all of those receivers we had who are not going to the Hall of Fame, he gave them a name. Because most people cannot name them.
And I mean, the proof's in the pudding, with the exception of an exceptional Super Bowl that Odell played before he got hurt. And one decent season in Cleveland to start in Cleveland. What has Odell done post Eli, with the exception of one great half in the Super Bowl with another future Hall of Famer in Matthew Stafford?
Nothing.
Did Brandon Jacobs look good post Giants in the 1 year with the 49ers? What did Ahmad Bradshaw do when he left the G-Men?
I forgot all about
What
that.
did Steve Smith do when he left the G-Men?
Was Wayne Garman with Eli? No, but he was a Giant. But what happened with him?
No, I know what you're getting at. I know what you're getting at. And it's like, Tyree, I think he had a cup of coffee with the Ravens. I don't even remember if he actually played that season or if he made the roster.
I don't think he did.
David Tyree had 4 catches in the regular season. He had 2 in the Super Bowl, 1 for a touchdown and 1 for an iconic posterized helmet catch over a Hall of Fame talent who's not in the
Look
Hall.
at Plexiglass. Not Plexiglass. Look at Plexico. He came back, went to the Jets. He was nothing.
Yeah, being in the can for a couple of years, and and that's an interesting one too, because Plaxico at the time signed with the Jets. They gave him a little more money, but he also signed with the Jets because I think the narrative was they're better than the Giants, because the Jets were coming off 2 consecutive AFC title game appearances. They lost to the Colts and Steelers in consecutive years, but they had some big time wins. They beat a good Bengals team. They beat a really good Patriots team. They beat a good Chargers team. Yeah, like they were good. They were good. They were close. And my little theory on the Jets, if we want to take it that far back, those teams would have won a Super Bowl if Brett Favre chose to stay. Instead, they had to deal with Mark Sanchez. Favre was obsessed with getting back to the Packers. But this is how sometimes being over emotional doesn't always work. If Brett Favre would have stayed with the New York Jets, I wholeheartedly believe that the New York Jets would have played the Green Bay Packers in Super Bowl 45, and you would have got Rodgers and Favre on the grandest stage instead of chasing them on the Vikings.
I agree. 100%. I agree.
But back to Plax. Back to Plax for a second. He signs with the Jets. He met with the Giants on the same day, ultimately chooses the Jets. They're in the same facility. It's kind of easy business to go talk to both of them. Fast forward to Christmas Eve, a very rare situation where an interconference game is an elimination game for each team, because in each team's playoff brackets, the loser was going to be eliminated. And I was so nervous because I had purchased a plane ticket to get
Mhm.
to New York. My buddy Dorney had beautiful seats in the seventh row of the south end zone, but the game wasn't going to mean nothing if the Giants didn't win. What did the
Right.
Giants do? A very quiet first half. All of a sudden, on a little innocent slant route from the 1 yard line, Victor Cruz jukes a couple of Jet defenders. And to put things in perspective about a decision made poorly, if Plaxico Burress doesn't choose the Jets, and if Dominic Hickson doesn't get hurt, do we even know who Victor Cruz is? But the irony of the situation
Yep.
is when Victor Cruz split the Jets defense and kind
It
of
was
hurdled
a
over
wrap.
these two players. Who's standing right there looking at this unfold? None
Yep.
other than Plaxico Burress.
Let's go for it.
Now, shouts out to Plax, a humble man, a man who knows he
Yeah.
made a mistake, a
Yeah.
guy who could have gone down as one of the greatest Giants of all time if he didn't make a very piss poor decision. Now, I understand, and you started at the top of the hour talking
Mhm.
about men's mental health. This is interesting. His
Mhm.
good friend Sean Taylor, another guy who would have been a legend were he not murdered,
Yeah.
protecting his family. Earlier that year, Sean Taylor was murdered in his home. Earlier in the year, there was a home invasion. This time, they penetrated the front. They unfortunately killed Sean.
Yeah.
Flax was very messed up over that situation. And while I'm not condoning the stupidity of what Flax did, go up your security. Let professionals deal with that.
Mhm.
Flax made a terrible mistake. A terrible mistake. It derailed the Giants' 08 chance to go back-to-back and essentially start a mini dynasty because they did win an 11 as well.
Yep.
But, it's like football gives and football takes away. Do we win
Yeah.
in 11 if we don't win in 08 with a different cast of people? Is Hakeem Nicks a New York Giant if Plax doesn't go to jail? The answers to
Right.
these questions is probably not.
Right.
So if you want to revisit history, if you want to trade in 11 for 08, or is it just the way it was supposed to be?
Yep. I'm with you. Yeah, I think Class could have been a top 10 wide receiver all time, man. Had he
I
not,
mean,
yeah.
they want to talk about elite, right? Outside of Marvin Harrison and the Peyton Manning connection during those prime years, the only other combo that was scoring touchdowns at that frequency was Burris and Eli. Not even Moss and Brady because they weren't together that long.
And that's why we got Jackson Dart and Fields.
Well, I can't wait.
And that's why we're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Oh my, he said it.
You know why? It's 2026. It's been almost 20 years since we won a Super Bowl. This is our year, buddy.
And this is Major League Baseball honoring the military this month.
Mm-hmm.
And something that I want to say in reference to that
Mm-hmm.
is when I think about people who serve this country,
Mm-hmm.
I also think about men's mental health. This is predominantly a male-driven field. Of course, more opportunities have opened up for women over the years, and shouts out to them too. You are all brave, and you all have my utmost respect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But keeping it on the male spec, Idris, it's a tough one today. I'm not gonna lie. What you've gone through. I'm your brother through and through.
Oh, yeah, no doubt,
your
no
pain,
doubt.
your pain is my pain as well, bro. Because
Oh yeah.
it's a very real thing
Yeah.
that really could happen and really could hit home. And I guess the message I want to send out on the way out is check on your people. Check
Yes.
on your people. And sometimes the hardest decisions have to be made. And sometimes you got to extend your arms just a little further when things just ain't right. And that's all I really got to say on it. My heart goes out to the family, to the young man particularly, because I know there's a lot of players that just basically weren't playing the right game. And that hurts me because, one thing I'm going to say, I am not perfect. No one is. My parents ain't perfect. I ain't perfect. Nobody's perfect. But one thing that I do know is that a lot of these kids never asked to be brought in. And if you're going to take on the grand responsibility of bringing a kid in, you put that child first no matter what the hell is going on. And that's all I got to say about that. It's not about an ego thing. It's about always, and I mean always, what's best for the child.
Always, man.
But
And I am grandfather, father. I see you as my nephew, and yeah, we gotta take care of each other, man. And
no
yeah,
doubt,
it's yeah,
that's one thing that I loved about where I grew up. Very diverse community, and everybody was everybody's kids. Sometimes I
exactly.
went to my church sermon. If I
Yeah,
was hanging out with a couple of particular black teammates, you might find me in a black church on Sunday.
right.
I used to love Lulu's fried chicken. I remember I would now this is aging myself. This is going back to where they would like record the Cosbys on the VHS and they'd be rocking out with the Simpsons, and then we go over
Yeah,
game film. Point to be made is that it was community and
yeah,
everybody looked out for everybody. And that's something in the world that I genuinely hope that we get
yeah.
back to because now more than ever, and I mean now more than ever, uh, we got to do better, man. My mother got a comment coming in this room a little bit ago. I'm assuming Yankees need to get their heads out of their butts tonight. Yeah, that's a fair
Yeah,
statement.
you got that right.
To the
I don't know
ladies
what's
listening,
going on,
one
dude.
short man.
We're the damn
Sometimes,
Boston Red Sox, man.
and I wanna say something, and I think I'm speaking for Idris as well.
Hmm.
You listen to the opening of this. This is not a shot at all women because that wouldn't
No,
be
no.
fair either. It's coming from a very specific place, and I want to make that clear to anybody
Yeah,
that might have a little confusion about how this
yeah.
show started. And I'll even go as far, I was in fan mode yesterday. I was in my cups. I was enjoying the day with my boys. Shouts out to Angel, like I said, man. Thank you for driving me around and keeping me cool on a day that was not that easy for a litany of reasons. But if I offended anyone with my little tirade, profusely cursing about how the New York Yankees lost it, I just want to make one thing clear. Yeah, I do a podcast, and yeah, I think I'm pretty professional for the most part, but I'm human and I'm a fan first.
That's right.
But I appreciate each and every one of you giving us the support that you've been giving us. We got big things happening here at the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. Also, check out Talking New York on Facebook for the Yankee fans and also people that hate the Yankees. We welcome any and all Yankees daily, over 100,000 members. Make it a point to check them out as well. Also, check out our good friends at the Casual Convo Show every Wednesday night, 8 to 10 p.m. Check out the Basement Show with Johnny Nash. Johnny, my apologies for my missed timing. I know I appeared on your show. I wasn't able to stay long enough. That was a brain fart on my side. I owe you an episode for sure. Johnny is a great friend
Oh yeah.
of the show. Also, check out Make It Count, the Sneaky G podcast to my New York Giant lovers of football. Sneaky brings on people from all kinds of fan bases, as well as a huge contingent from Big Blue. He's doing it strong out in Texas. And to lovers of the NFL, NFC Beast, one of the best places to talk football
Yes, sir.
on Facebook. And Moms is still going off on Community, and she's right.
Yeah.
I think you ate at every house in town. Yeah, you're not lying.
Ma,
And
hey, Mom's calling
shouts
you out
out,
today, man.
shouts out Richie Dorney, my longest standing friend. And congrats, Rich. You got us. He's a big Met fan. He gave me some shit.
Hey, hold on a second. Hey, Miss E, you got some more tea on your son?
See, for days. You kidding me,
Boy,
bro?
she poured it out, man.
Before we get out of here, I got to send this to you because this is just damn funny.
Yeah.
So Dorney, immediately after the Yankees lost yesterday, was having some fun with me.
Oh, shit.
But, I ain't ever afraid to laugh at myself.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah, he's a piece of work. But the truest Met fan you'll ever find, and it's all love and it's all fun.
Right.
But I got to share this because this is funny, dog. Just bear with me. I'm pulling this up.
Well, why you
Yeah,
do that?
three-way combo
Okay.
going with my mother, and he's like, "Your son, I'm worried about his health."
That damn Dorney.
I think for my own mercy,
Oh man.
Fortunately, I might be out of space.
Well, anyway,
Yo, yo, Dorney, when he sent me
oh wait, well,
the,
your mama asked a question.
oh
Miss
Lord,
E, do you have any more tea? Any more
T,
rumors you wanna
yeah, like any kind
tell
of
us?
stuff about me that you want to throw out there.
Yeah, yeah, we're here for it. I'm here for all of it. I love your mother, man.
Yeah, she's probably gonna rag on me, be like, "Oh, he had a pacifier for way too long.
Oh, she might hit me in the inbox. Like, you really want to know about my son? Yeah, I do.
He had that pacifier when he was 27 years old, man. He was running around like old dog.
I'm a man on yeah, I'm a man on Boys in the Hood.
My God,
Oh man, I
nah,
love your mother, man.
yeah, she's special, bro. No, so anyway, so Dorney's getting at me, and I was pissed off, as you can see from the reel that I put out, because I was authentic.
Oh yeah, you was
I was angry. I flicked him off, sent it straight to him. He doctors the picture, sends it to my mother in a three-way conversation with me wearing a Met shirt and like a bonnet,
Ooh,
and like a baby bonnet, you know, the little things that the babies wear when they're little.
no,
Yeah,
no, he
dog.
didn't. No. Hey, Doherty's a fool, dude. I got.
Oh, he's a funny guy. No, let me tell you something. He's committed because
Oh man.
every season when the year starts, you can
Yeah,
bank on my Instagram when we are
yeah.
officially 30 days away from baseball. This man will send me a clip each and every day of some kind of random Yankee sore spot failure.
Oh man.
But I give Dorney props because one thing about him is that he understands the pain
Yeah.
of being a Met fan.
Oh yeah.
Yo, she's dogging me.
I'm dude. I'm looking. That's why I'm laughing.
And he took away your pacifier when you went to prom.
Go ahead, Miss E. Go, Miss Eunice. Go.
Unbelievable. Um, expect me back here tomorrow night at the conclusion of the Knicks game 1, and I may possibly pop up in the morning to do a quick reel or possibly a quick show,
And he
giving
might
my
have his
final
pacifier,
prediction.
y'all.
I have my pacifier.
Miss E. Not good, man. Your
Look
mama
at Dorney
crazy.
was messed up yesterday. Yeah, not like me.
You know what? I don't know who crazier, your mama or Dorney, because those two are something else, man.
No, Dorney's a character, bro. We gotta get him. We gotta get him on the show because you and him having graced each other with your presences on the same show. So we're gonna make that
Yeah,
happen.
definitely. I do want
Absolutely.
to. I do want to get on with Dorney one day.
But I'll
For
tell you
sure.
one thing about Dorney. I got on a more serious tip.
Yeah.
One of the most thoughtful people I have ever met in my life. Let me tell you about Dorney real quick. My late aunt Deborah Hicks, my favorite aunt, my godmother, someone who probably should have and could have had kids in a different era. She was a gay woman, different times. Treated me like a son through and through. When she was on her deathbed, and she was an
Yeah.
aunt to Rich too, Dorney. Like they were very close as well. Dorney goes out and spends $200 on the best Yankee blanket he could find, and gets up to the hospital where I was not. I was in Florida. Covers her up in a Yankee blanket because he refused to allow her to die in some hospital blanket. He wanted her to be
Oh
covered in the
man.
team that she loved. Dorney
Hell
is
yeah.
a real one.
That is dope.
Dorney's a good man, let me tell you.
That
Big ball
is
breaker, but
dope.
that is a class A individual through and through.
That is
And he's
dope.
always thinking about Noah, bro.
Yeah.
He actually got me the Eli Manning bobblehead when he wearing a Yankee jersey. He's just been
Oh
backed up with
man.
work, so it's been about mail it out. But always thinking about others, bro. Dorney's that dude.
Yeah.
Always,
Yeah.
bro. But
Hell
for
yeah.
Idris, I am Richie. Thank you guys for hanging, watching. Let's go Knicks. Huge game tomorrow, and let's go Yankees tonight. Let's get this opener against the Jays and hopefully start a winning streak. Things have got to change. The Yankees are playing bad baseball, but it's early, and I know we can turn it around.
But maybe that, yeah. Peace.
Big energy, we ain't playing nice. Kings of New York, ain't no rolling dice. Flexing on these bitches, we the real deal. Ain't no stopping us, this is how we feel. The Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, the island of Queens, we ballin' hard. Fulfilling all our dreams, thugging through the hustle. Got that grit and grind in this big Nick energy, we forever shine. So let them know we rockin'. From the garden to the booth, Knicks in the building, bringing straight up truth. With our heads held high, watch us rise and transcend. Big Nick energy, this is just the beginning.